Hi guys, Shemo Polot here. So, this week I'm going to show you why I have abandoned Google Chrome, at least temporarily. Google Chrome is arguably the most famous browser on the planet, most used browser on the planet, hogs a lot of RAM, but just like plugs into everything, which just makes it an essential for most people. But I found a gem. Listen, talking about it just gives me chills, okay? So I found this browser called Arc as in ARC, and Arc is, I just have to show you. Stick around and I'll show you. Another thing that I'm going to do in this video is going to talk about one of the most fantastic extensions which I happen to use in Arc called Magical, and you can learn more about Magical at getmagical.com/YouTube. Magical actually sponsors a section of this video, but I'll get to that at that point. Look at me having sponsorships, right? But yes, so first we talk about Arc, then somewhere along the way I'll talk about Magical because extensions and browsers are a match made in heaven. But let's get into it. Okay, so I want to talk to you about Arc, and this is what the browser looks like, right? Looks nice and clean. You don't see any tabs open right now. This is like a blank page that I use to sort of write the prompts for my videos. So look at you getting a peek behind the curtain, right, in Shem's content creation. I should be scripting these videos, but really I just be doing vibes still just because it's easier. But yes, so let me show you some of the differences that Arc has. First of all, where are the tabs? The tabs are in a sidebar which I can access by doing Command S. I do Command S, and all the tabs that are open in this particular workspace appear right there. Now, unique difference here between Arc and Google Chrome. Chrome doesn't have workspaces. Chrome has an option for you to pin tabs and create sort of sections where your tabs can sort of collapse into. Things like if you have work and then you have a bunch of tabs inside work. But all those in Chrome exist right in the browser, and it just kind of doesn't look that great, okay? But in Arc, we have workspaces. So right now I'm in this workspace, which is called my YouTube workspace, which has all the different sites that I tend to go to when I'm doing content creation. But if I want to go to all my other workspaces, all I have to do is use my two thumbs and just swipe to the right. And now we're going to the Jobs tab because the struggle is real. Swipe again. I go to Data. This is where I have all my data analytics stuff whenever I'm actually working on that. As you can see, nice and clean because I finished all my work already. And then swipe again, and then this is the main one, the Daily tab, where I usually have most of my humdrum tasks that go on ad nauseum. Okay? But yes, so swiping lets you access workspaces. So that's the first thing. Another really cool thing about Arc that I really have to share is they have this feature called easel, an easel which is from painting, I think. That's sort of like wooden thing that artists stick their paintings on that you see in the movies while they hold a little plate with paints in them. That like wooden thing, I think that's what an easel is. But so Arc has something called easel, and it is fantastic. Let me show you how it works, okay? So you're browsing, if you're like me, I'm going to hide the sidebar by pressing Command S again, okay? So now if you're browsing the internet and you find something that's really cool that you want to reference later, this happens to me a lot because I write a newsletter, and so every now and then I find really cool things on the internet, and I'm like, I need to reference this in my newsletter. Now what you can do in Arc is you can use the shortcut, which is Command-Shift-2, which allows you to snip a section of the page. As you can see, I can hold down Command here, and then just drag this to capture this particular phrase. And once I do that, it asks me where I want to save it, and I can save it to an easel. I can either create a new one, or I can add it to the one that I already have existing, which is called Gems. Mine is called Gems for Newsletter. So I click it to that, and now it takes it to this easel, and now I can drag this up here. And now the beauty about having this is that these are not just screenshots. These are also very active links which you can physically go back to later on whenever you want to refer to it at any given point in time. So the easel is really useful. For example, if you're making a trip, if you're planning a trip and you are canvassing the internet for different resources, maybe hotels, maybe places to visit, maybe things you want to buy, and you're looking through the internet for all these things. And so when you take these screenshots in Arc, you're able to create an entire like canvas with all this information that you can refer to by just clicking this link that will take you back to that website in case you forget what you were looking for. Okay, which is really cool. I mean, Opera has something like this, has some sort of workspace canvas that allows you to draw things, not nearly as fancy as this. Edge also has something like this. Google Chrome doesn't have anything like this. But yes, the easel feature is powerful integration into Arc that is one of my favorite things. I use it a lot. And once you have created the easel, if I reveal the sidebar, the easels appear up here in the same slot where the sort of pinned tabs in your browser would go. And so you just come up here and there they are. Otherwise, you go back to whatever it is that you were browsing, okay? But yes, so the next thing that I want to talk about is all the different shortcuts and features that are absolutely possible. Like I said, Command S will reveal the sidebar and take it away. Then another really cool feature is adding a split screen. You know when you're browsing and you have two different tabs open, but then you want to look at those tabs side by side, and then you have to like in Chrome, you have to like drag one tab out and then drag the other one out and then slap them together. It's just, let me show you how it happens in Arc. So in Arc, you use a shortcut, which is Control, Shift, and equal sign. And as you can see, it creates a split. So now if you want to, mine is usually YouTube. If I want to watch a YouTube video on the side while I maybe take notes or something like that, there you go. As you can see, my YouTube there, very heavy on the basketball and Ali Abdal because, hey, productivity and basketball. But yes, so when you have it now like this, you can watch a video, you can play a video.
So people always
like this. You can play a video and then whatever you hear, you can take the notes down like that in real time. It's just, look at how seamless it is. And when you are done, you can just collapse that by pressing that button right there. And so the split screen for me, and the thing is that you can actually add more than one split screen, right? You can add that and you can add a third one. Like, look, oh my goodness, man. It's just, it's fantastic. For me, the split screen is a game changer for me. I use it a lot. And so out of all the other features, I think one of the things that made me switch was just the split screen and just how fast it works. But otherwise, most of the other features are relatively similar. The shortcuts are the same between Chrome for the most part, so the transition isn't that hard. Command T will open a new tab. However, the difference with Command T in this case is that you also get to see a bunch of different options in here. So for example, if you want to use an extension, then you would just begin to type the extension. And at this point, it's a perfect time to talk about Magical. So Magical is an extension that's very good for automation. What it helps you do is create a bunch of automations that will make you do less things and just reduce the amount of time that it takes you to accomplish certain tasks. For example, they have a very good powerful text expander. And what the text expander does, I'll just show you, okay? So one, I click the Magical extension as my browser revealed, and then so here are the shortcuts I have set up so far. But I'm going to show you how you can create a shortcut really quickly. So I click Create Shortcut, and then the first thing I do is to add a trigger. So for the trigger, let me put something like, maybe I need to create a shortcut for a birthday message that I send to a lot of people. I mean, look, this is a good example. It's the new year, everyone's sending you Happy New Year messages. So if you send a generic Happy New Year message to everyone, then instead of typing it out manually in your email, you can just create a trigger so that every time you type those keywords, the entire message just pops up. So let's do it in real time, okay? So the trigger I'm going to use is HP, it's HNY for Happy New Year. And then the content will be Happy New Year. I hope brings you lots of joy and prosperity, okay? And I save that, and once I save it, that shortcut has been created and it is shown right here. And now if I do something like open my Gmail, to open my Gmail, I'm just going to do Command T again. I took Gmail, opens up there. And now if I do C to create a new email, so hypothetically speaking, if I just come in here and I type HNY, voila, you see that? Beautiful text expander works effortlessly. I can show you all the other shortcuts I created. I created one for my newsletter, which if you haven't subscribed to, you totally need to do right now. That's not subtle at all, but there you go. Minus dash TFF will open that up. I have another one that shares the link to my feedback surveys after my consultations. I think is it feedback? I can't remember what it is. Let's see. I can find out what it is by going to Magical and checking for the shortcut FBK. Okay. Oh, hold on. Is it? Yeah, dash FBK. And there you have it. And so that shares whatever it is that I had planned to share with that shortcut. But yeah, so the text expander is really powerful, but they have another really cool feature called transfers, which is a way for you to sort of automate data entry and a bunch of other things. But the data entry portion of it is very intriguing to me. I just want to show you very briefly how that works, okay? So what it does is it collects information from the bunch of tabs that you have open. Once you download the extension, it requests for certain permissions within your browser and within a bunch of your different applications and things like that. And then let me show you what you can do. So a really cool feature they have is something called transfers, which allows you to sort of bring in data from a bunch of different tabs that you have open and enter that data in, say, for example, the most applicable scenario for me is into an Excel sheet. However, once you have that data, once you have those variables that you collect from any of the open tabs, then you can use it for stuff like autofilling forms when you're applying for jobs and things like that. But let me show you what I mean, okay? So what I do is I say, if I want to get my name, let me show you the sheet. If I want to get the name and the job title and location from my LinkedIn, okay? And so I come to my LinkedIn, and you see here I want to get my name, my job title, and then this location, which is Kampala Central Region, okay? So to do that, I click the magical extension, or I activate it, and I go to click Create Transfer. Okay, and so in Create Transfer, as you can see, it is already picked up because I'm on this particular tab that it wants me, that the source is my LinkedIn profile, okay? And then the destination is going to be this test sheet that I created. Then I click Go to Destination, which will take me to this sheet. And then so it walks me through it. It tells me to type 2// in a cell. So I go here to name, I type 2//, and so it brings up information that it gets from all the different tabs I have open. As you can see here, that's because of all these tabs that I have open there, okay? So what I want to look for is my name. Let me get full name, and then job title. I go here again, I get my job title, which is this guy, or maybe I want another one. Let me see if I get let me see if I can get but yeah, so I guess I'm going to go with, job title, there it is. I go with program manager, and then location. I saw location somewhere down here, there it is, okay? So now, once I have that, and I want to get the same variables from another tab that's open, so that's why I had this tab open, which is from Hapol Sambi, who is actually the CEO of Magical. And so what I do is I go back into my cell, and I type that, and now I just go and I get the variables for his. And as you can see, it auto fills it out. I selected all, that's why he brought these a second time. As you can see, it brings his name, his job title, and his location again. And so this here is maybe a finicky example, but this is really useful if you already have these variables saved, which Magical does. As you can see, your transfer is saving. Once it saves them and it has these variables here, which it calls mapped variables, then if you happen to be filling out a form that asks you for your name and your job title and your location, then all you have to do is press those forward slash. As long as those tabs are open, you press those double forward slash triggers, and then it will autofill that information because it has those variables saved already, which is fantastic because it will save you a lot of time in your browsing experience. So I'm definitely going to be using Magical a lot more. And again, you can do too if you want to download the extension. I will leave the link, which is getmagical.com/YouTube in the description. But otherwise, you should definitely check it out because it's saving me tons of time. And also, I just love playing with this kind of stuff. You know me, completely geeky about it all. But yeah, otherwise, and thanks to Magical for sponsoring this section of the video. But yeah, so I was still sort of like fangirling on Arc, right? So Arc has all these brilliant features in it. And for me, it goes a step further from Chrome. All the features that Chrome seems to have, it sort of takes them and just supercharges them. So for example, in Chrome, when I want to get the link to the current page I'm in, and again, let me just go back to my LinkedIn. The shortcut is Command L on the Mac or Control L on a PC. But so Command L will just bring up the link to the page you're in. However, in Arc, you can just use a shortcut, which is Command Shift C, and that will automatically copy the URL for the page, as you can see in the top right corner here. And so if you want to paste it somewhere else, all you have to do is, I'm just going to use this little empty space where I enter all my stuff. And so here, if I just paste that, and there is the link that I was talking about, right? So Arc just presents this more beautiful, more seamless browser experience. It really doesn't feel like I'm in a browser half the time, because most of the time, it just looks like an empty canvas when I close it out. And you see everything just looks nice and clean that way. And so definitely something that you should check out if you haven't, if you're looking for a new browser, if you're willing to sort of like dip your toes into anything other than Chrome, Opera, Edge, and any of the other mainstream ones. I'm going to leave a few invites to see if you can use Arc because it's still in beta, so it isn't open. You can't just download it, but I have a few invites because I've been using it for a while. So I'll leave a link so you can get some of those, so you can try it out. Otherwise, it's so fantastic. It does have playing picture-in-picture that you get on YouTube, but that's something that Chrome has as well. So I wouldn't talk too much about that. But if I started playing this video, for example, if I started playing this video and I sort of move to another browser, it automatically opens that video in picture-in-picture right there on the side, which is beautiful. I think some browsers don't do this automatically, some do it automatically, but I don't think Chrome doesn't do this automatically, but Chrome has an extension called Picture-in-Picture that allows you to do that, even though I'm a huge fan of just having things in by default. So that's another plus for me as far as why I use Arc versus Chrome. And so yeah, it's a really beautiful, really seamless experience using Arc. I've been using it for about a month now. I literally get excited to get on my PC so I can use my browser. It's fantastic. So mostly, some of the most powerful things is this Command T option, because this allows you to go to different tabs in here, but also it allows you to activate extensions. So you can just type an extension. So for example, if I have a Calendly extension, you can just type it and then you can activate your extensions that way, rather than using the shortcut triggers for the extensions, which become too many to memorize sometimes. And so this way of just navigating through everything that's open and everything that's available in the browser, I think is absolutely fantastic. But also, it's the way you can pin tabs. So for example, if I'm looking at this particular tab right here, which is videos for Arc, the shortcut to pin this tab is Command D. And as you can see, I can pin that tab. And now when I go out, I'm able to see this tab pinned up here. And so the pinned tabs are up and separate from all the other tabs. So it really is just, again, fantastic user experience, very seamless to use. As you can see me going through all these different options. Right here on the sidebar, when you click that little padlock, you can change certain access provisions that the sites have. You can enable mini player and things like that, and microphone access and all that, as well as disable them very quickly. I love it, man. Also, another cool thing that I almost forgot, the downloads. So when you download things, they come over here to the side, right? And you can open that entire library using Command-Shift-L, which shows you a history of all the downloads that you've made, but also shows you a history of all the shortcuts, history of all your downloads, history of all your easels, and then then you can also just, your easels are there, and then also just a bunch of different sketches and things like that you have. It's just a beautiful browser experience. So having this here then allows you to drag things back and forth a lot easier. So, have I sold it enough? Definitely check out Arc. Otherwise, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with anyone you know. Once again, thank you so much to Magical for sponsoring that section of the video. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.